Welcome to the In Season podcast, rated R for language.
None of us are doctors or neurologists. Things you're about to hear are opinions of people living with epilepsy or seizures. These are firsthand experiences. Epilepsy can cause speech problems, and medications are hard to pronounce, so please bear with me. Epilepsy can cause bad memory, so some stories will be repeated. I'm Pookie. Get ready.
How long do your clusters last if you don't take your rescue meds? So this person's doctor, they says, my doc is forcing me on a benzo break because my FAS clusters started happening weekly after a bad change of SSRI and my clonazepam wafer stopped working at 2 milligrams. So now I got to toughen the clusters out alone. It's been 5 hours, then 4 hours sleep. Then they started up again after an hour of being awake. I was hoping sleep would stop them. Apparently not. How long do clusters last? Wow. So is anybody else hearing like their doctor's trying to kill them?
No. My doctor, I don't have a neurologist right now, but my doctor, he's pretty nice. Pretty cool dude. He's funny. He's really funny. Really, really funny. Yeah.
Okay, so this person's doctor might actually be telling them to stop taking the meds for the right reason. If you just think they're not working. But for somebody to not have any rescue meds and they definitely are having clusters, that's where it sounds like that doctor stopped short.
When you said pills not working, I had those pills that my doctor gave me for sleep and they weren't working. That's why I stopped taking them. So, I mean, I understand if you got something, you're just taking the pills, just getting the side effects, basically. It's not doing any good for you. I'm not suggesting anyone stop taking their pills. Let me throw that out there. I'm not a doctor.
And you speak for us all. One of the comments is saying mine would last about 30 seconds and then go on for 2 days. They'd go away for a month or two and then repeat. So maybe some people really do just live with these clusters. 30 seconds at a time, but for 2 days?
Right, twin? Yeah, what was your longest cluster? Or prodromal phase? If it's more than 24 hours, they call it prodromal.
Okay, so what if I had a day that I don't remember?
I don't know. You could have had a seizure in the morning. I don't know. That could have been a focal cluster.
No, but I left. And I remember that. So that's what I'm trying to see, like, how long could that be? Because there was parts of the day where I was cleaning up and bits and pieces, I don't remember that. And then I remember showering and I remember everything during that day being like, why am I doing this? Where am I going? And yeah, I remember going to the street, to the curb out front. And then I remember coming back. I remember passing the driveway right here to come back. Yeah, and then someone else told me that day or whatever, he told me that was the day I walked in the store and I was kind of just walking around the island in the store until he said, what's up? And then he said, what's up? Is when I said, shut up. And then I walked out. I don't remember any of that. I remember the walk back though, because he also told me what I was wearing. And that's how I remember that. And I remember some of that day just being weird, like, what am I doing this for? Why am I cleaning up and changing clothes? And I mean, cleaning up is normal, but I was getting dressed like I was going to a concert or something. And yeah, didn't go anywhere but to the smoke shop and didn't get anything because I don't remember going there. So yeah, I don't even remember the reason I went there, just to look at stuff.
Yeah, so take notes. That might help if it happens around the same time of day on a future date. Try and correspond.
Wild to me that it's a whole day, but I have had one experience where I talked to someone. That sounds dramatic. I got up out of bed and went to the bathroom and then went to my roommate's room and said hi to my roommate and then went back to bed. That's the only time I've ever gotten up and walked around. So, like, having a whole day of that and walking all over, that I can't even imagine, because it's wild to me that I even did that much walking. So, I don't know. You're impressive.
Yeah, plenty fun.
Yeah, my longest cluster, it was 6 hours. My baby was one, like going towards the two, and she woke up in the middle of the night. It was like 4 a.m. and I gave her milk that was in the fridge, and then I put her in her playpen, and I was getting my wife's stuff ready for work. And next thing you know, I can't control my body or anything. And I just start seizing and seizing. And they tried, like, my wife asked me, I couldn't answer. I don't think I remember if I could answer anything, but she asked me if I'm okay or something. And it just went on. Like, I know they eventually got me into a bed, but yeah. I know they tried to give me my VIN pad again and stuff, and it was just like it wasn't stopping. That's when I first started clonazepam. They had to give me the dissolving pill to stop it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
she actually had to feed me.
Oh, wow. Yeah. The Ativan. I know. I had to have a friend take care of me for like 3 days after. Yeah, I had it was one of my LTMs. I was in the EMU, and they kept coming in. Did you feel that? Did you feel that? How are you feeling? And I'm like, I have never. It was like the fifth time I did one of those. And I'm like, I'm okay. I'm just feeling just like it's one of those days, you know? And when they finally said, you've been having like low grade focal seizures for 32 hours. And I ended up going into the TC, and then I went into status. And the only thing I can say that was good about that was it happened in the EMU. So, but that was like, now I know what that feeling is. And I'll get like the mood swings or almost a personality change sometimes. My son and his girlfriend, they know my brain better than I do. You know what I mean? So it's like, yo, where's your medicine, mom? Because they see it before I feel it, but I didn't even recognize it until after that EMU. I'm like, so that's what this is? It's not just me being moody and I need medication for some mental health issue. No, this is your epilepsy. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, good to know. But yeah, I see Allison was asking, I didn't even know what it was until it happened in the EMU. And I can't, you
Yeah,
know
my
how, like, at the
first
moment,
vocal
yeah,
aware, I didn't know either. I was like,
yeah.
what the hell is going on?
It's like, what are you guys talking about?
But
Why,
did the memory loss ever kind of help the diagnosis for you guys? Because I think that's what led the doctors to help me understand what focal awares were. Because even though the cameras, whoever was around would say that I was only out of it for a few minutes and pretty much came right back, that would wipe out 3 hours before that. I would, still think it was like 7 in the morning, and turned out it was late morning.
oh, yeah.
So yeah, and I think that's what led them to the hippocampus too, saying, because I told them so much about memory being an indicator of what kind of seizure I had and how bad it was.
Yeah,
And
and where too, you know,
Yeah.
that makes a big difference. Yeah, no, my memory didn't have anything to do with my diagnosis. It was the clinical, yeah, the stuff that they saw in the EEGs. And yeah, I'm like, I learned so much from those. As much as I hated them, I learned a lot. And that one was probably my best. And that was with my best doctor too. So, but yeah, with the memory, that's a different part of your brain too. You know, yeah, you're in deep, Kate.
Even
and
know
that's
how it
why they
all
put the
works.
rods and not the surface electrodes.
Yep.
Today has been a rough day for me. With all the work stuff, I've just been having my spiral personally, and it got me to realize that I don't really have any memories around the seizure that gave me the black eyes. I don't remember the seizure itself. I don't remember coming out of the seizure. I don't remember directly after the seizure. I'm not sure
You don't know what you were
where.
doing before the seizure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not sure where my memory comes back really after that seizure. And so then I started freaking out and having a panic attack. Because I don't know. I don't know. And yeah, that's I have a lot of memory issues, and I don't know if they're just around seizures or if they're in general. I just, yeah, today's been a rough day.
When you say like your memory stuff, it made me like think my memory is really bad too. But there's certain things that can make me remember stuff, and it's like when someone says something else. Suddenly, all of a sudden, I'll remember something I had in common, a story that I had in common to do with that. Memories come back easily like that. But for some reason, when I try to think of what happened, I'll be thinking of that for days and weeks. And then someone will be like, oh, well, we went to this store. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's what the memory was. I went to that store and I seen that you were talking about already. And earlier you asked me and I said no. Yeah. So, yeah, that's how my memory works, Reese. So you're not alone, Reese. Memory is just,
Yeah, no, they have this weird program that they're working on, like a school somewhere near one of the hospitals near where I live, that they had me work with, that is involved with people who have epilepsy, and it was supposed to help with memory problems related to epilepsy and coming up with strategies to help with them. But like all the strategies were just like writing a million things down and repeating things over and over. And it's like I could have thought of that, you know. And it's not like they're saying they were going to tell me things that I couldn't have thought of, but it's just, I'm just in this place where I'm like feeling weird and concerned that I'm having so many memory problems like this when I'm this young, and I'm just scared about if it's the medication or the epilepsy itself or this cyst. I don't know what it is that's causing it. And I don't know if there's anything that I can actually be doing to fix it. I don't know. Um, I don't know. But re what you said, I can be talking with people and they can bring something up and talk about stuff, and I'll just be sitting there like I don't fucking remember. So that's where I'm at.
Um,
Accept the bubble-headedness. As soon as you can accept it and laugh at it and find people around you who will laugh with you, you got a good support system.
okay. What you said when people ask you, you won't remember. Mine isn't usually when someone asking me a question, because if someone asks me, I'm not gonna remember right then and there. But when someone else is talking about something similar, that's how my memories come back. Because I'd be like, oh, I have something similar that's happened like that too. But otherwise, yeah, if you ask me or if I'm trying to remember it, it's not coming to me. It'll come to me when I remember something similar to that, or been to that store, or been in that car, or whatever the case.
Yeah, it's just Toaster, you make a good point, and I need to get there, but I'm having a hard time.
Oh,
Someone told
I'm
me
working
toss it
on
wait,
it.
wait,
over.
wait. I need to continue. Don't get me wrong. This fucking sucks the entire way. And it's so bad that you're going through this. Going through a move. I just got done with that. And holy shit, is it hard. That plus you're going on another surgery? That's just even tough tough times don't last, tough people do, and I know that you're one of the tough ones.
It means a lot. That really
You've
means a
proven
lot.
that so far. That's for sure.
My gut is to say no, you're wrong, but it means a lot that you say that. So we'll see, I guess. I mean, I'm doing what I can. So
Right, I got something here. It says, "What can you tell me about nasalium? I've never heard about it until today. I sent my neurologist videos of a seizure earlier today, and in addition to doubling my lacosamide, I was given a prescription for nasal spray. The regular cost alone will make you take a step back. It requires prior approval at Medicare has it for a reason Medicare has it for a reasonable cost. My pharmacy does not have it in stock. That was my first known seizure in over 4 years. Scared to hell out of my husband, and it was suck ass that day. Can someone help me? Um, yeah, can someone help me? That's all there was. What can you tell me about nasalium? Never tried it, but I can tell you that it's white and
It's a
kind
benzo.
of. I can tell you what the packaging looks like because I have the packaging. But anything else past this, I have nothing for it at all.
Be prepared to have somebody else to administer it. And if it actually works to stop the seizure, then just keep telling yourself it's worth how much it burns and everything tastes bad after for a while. But
Yeah.
otherwise, you would have been having a bad one. So just be prepared.
Yeah.
It will make you really, really, really tired. Just like the rest of our medicines. But
I thought this is like bring you back. It makes you tired.
Doesn't do that to
no, it
me
makes
if I have one of those on the second seizure, because sometimes I've been trying to tell everybody not to give me the nasal hymn unless it looks like it's going to be a cluster. So I blame the sleepiness on the seizures. I don't think it's, I don't think that's.
That's interesting. Says do not test or prime before use. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Any bad nasalium stories?
No.
Any good nasalium stories?
Well, I was saying I think I felt my first aura in the chat earlier. Um, it feels like a, what you call it, like electrical activity going right here through the middle of my head, and it goes all the way through my, like I can feel it touch my spine, and I'm like, that feels vaguely similar to the cluster I had, my first cluster, the 6 hour one. And I'm like, I was aware during that, and I do not want it. So, boom. I rather save myself that trouble of going through that than face that, you know, put that trauma on other people.
Angel, I think you're frozen, or is it everybody? Can everybody hear me? See me?
We're good. Angel
Did
is
I
frozen.
freeze?
Yeah,
I
I can hear you,
hear
but we
a
can't see anything.
Right. I got something here. Says Kepra. I just started Kepra 2 days ago. Half a tab twice a day, 500 milligrams in total.
Okay.
Anyway, I keep seeing people making vague posts about how terrible Kepra is, but when I ask details, they don't answer. So someone please explain. Should I be worried about this pill? I had to switch from lamotrigine because that was giving me a bad rash.
Capra is the go-to medicine.
Gold
And
standard.
yes, the gold standard. And honestly, I think there's a reason for that. Maybe. I've just not met anyone who has had good experiences on not Vimpat, Capra. So that's Angel's connection is being sparky. And now I've totally forgot where I was going. Oh
Kepra,
yeah,
your
the
experience.
Capra. Yes. The worst thing that I ever did in my life, I did when I was on Capra. I was put on Capra soon after my youngest son was born. My oldest um, s- stepdaughter was probably about 15, I think, and she was helping me. I would not have survived without her, which is terrible in and of itself, but I will also blame that on her father. Um, but we would not have survived without her help. She was helping me. We were doing something in the kitchen, and I remember just getting angry. It, l- Hulk smash type of thing. Just literally turned green, and I shoved her. People who have met me know that I am someone who really, there's a reason why I love this group, because you're online. When I actually do hello, you're right there in front of me, I am terrible. But this gives it gives, I don't know what it is. It's just a veil that I can just, it's great. And I'm going off on a tangent again. I'm sorry. What was the question?
Kepra,
Deborah. Oh, oh yes, my daughter. That that was the worst thing I ever did was push her, and it was on Kepper. And soon after that, it was changed. Don't ask me what because I don't remember that part.
I don't remember my Kepra stories because I was 16 or 17, somewhere around there. Angel always tells me his Kepra stories. He didn't like it. He got off of it.
Yeah, I remember the end specifically. I know they pushed it up. I kept having seizures, and they kept pushing it up. They pushed me up to 4,000 milligrams a day, and it was so hard because I was working in a warehouse, and it was like you could feel. I knew it was. I'm like, I knew there was anger building in me, and I'm like, why is there anger building in me and stuff? And I didn't know why or anything. And there was like, if I had my Galaxy Note from then, I probably could remember all my notes that I put down from when I was taking Kepra. But yeah, and then I think when I started having like health problems besides my seizures, I was having, I was trying to figure everything else. I was having seizures and everything, and the doctor just wanted to keep raising levels, and it wasn't working. It wasn't holding back seizures. They were coming back faster and faster. That's what I like. Look, they're coming back faster. They're ramping up. The Kepra is not working. It's like it basically raged off, I guess. And he referred me to my current neurologist, which I like.
All right.
Turns
So
out it makes
glad you
all the
found that good one.
difference to have doctors you like. There were times when I was like, I don't care. They just prescribed stuff I need, whatever. But turns out it really matters. I had a few doctors who I didn't like, and that was problematic. But the doctors I do like, having a psychiatrist you like, holy shit. My current psychiatrist is insanely good compared to my old ones. My old psychiatrist, I mean, I know this isn't about psychiatrists, but I'm just saying, like, holy shit, when you have a good psychiatrist, that shit's insane. So, yeah, good doctors. Wild.
So some specialists you want to get along with more than others, especially the ones that aren't like physical symptoms you can prove and not deny. So this one is Allison's post about Kepra. When I first started, my head felt so clear. It was amazing, but it did start to creep in over a couple months. Some people are right away rage, and some people are fine for life on it. For me, it wasn't like normal anger. It was a head pressure rage I couldn't control at all. If you're not hot-tempered like that to start with, then it's the Kepra. I felt anger and slight annoyances that normally wouldn't even bother me one bit, and I'd completely fly off the handle. I learned quickly when I felt the pressure rise in my head and my neck get hot, I had to back away from a situation immediately, even if it was something really mundane. Multiple times I would back off and run to the bathroom at work when a customer says something that looking back wasn't anything out of the ordinary at all. Thankfully, I had a coworker know what was going on and took over. Of course, there were irritating customers like always, but even the nice ones just asking questions that were tiring to me. I had to depart. I yelled at my kids so much. One has PTSD from it, and we are doing therapy. Now, if I raise my voice even a little bit, he's scared. This was all only over a year on Kepra, and its sister Medbriviact, which helped the pressure and rage lower but didn't go away. I would say watch for situations like that. Try to discern between fatigue or rage if you're feeling grumpy. Some are grumpy on it. Some people do get tired on it. I actually felt energized, but not necessarily in a good way. Looking back, I was an anxious wreck. Just keep in mind how many are doing wonderful on it and how many has been their life-saving medication. I would say if you tried Briviact and didn't do well, then you likely won't do well on Keppra either, as they do operate the same channels of your brain. Thank you, Allison. Hey, Brandon.
Hey everyone, how's night going? Or day going? I don't know, whatever time it is.
Let me go to the question before you start, Brandon. Man, that's why I should hurry up. Go ahead, Brandon.
We'll start with the icebreaker for you.
Yeah,
What
I was
is
just
the
yeah.
what do you find most appealing about this group? Or what's the most productive thing? That's what it was.
Most productive thing? Well, the knowledge and well, I guess also just spreading the knowledge. For me, that's the most productive thing about this. It's like I know sort of what my triggers are, and like I have my stuff pretty under control. So I just want to help other people.
Yeah, you're the
That's
Kepra
good.
success story. We were just talking about Kepra.
My like space bar temporary unmute is acting up. But yeah, I definitely had my moments when I first got on it, but now that it's been like 2 years on it, my body's leveled out, I guess.
Okay, that's what made me remember now. The lady was saying that she was yelling at her son and she was getting angry and stuff like that. I'm glad I didn't have to put my kids through that. I didn't have kids at that time. But I still might have had kids. But yeah, that I didn't yell at my kids. And
I
that can be traumatizing. I can imagine.
I will. I mean, okay. I've always had a little bit of an explosive personality, and that I've already had to sort of manage. So I think that's what helped is I was already working on, you know, that part of like what was going to be worse with Kepra. Um, and there are still times where I do like just start sort of yelling. But I've learned to only do it in certain moments where I'm sorry for my cats, but occasionally my cats get yelled at because I'm working with kids all day and I can't yell at them. So I bring those annoyances home. And so my cats get the brunt of it. Um, but usually it's just me in the other room, like just kind of yelling about something. But I don't take it out on people. I just sort of I need to get it out. And usually I'll go to the soccer field and just absolutely kick a ball within an inch of its life.
Yeah, I can see how those thoughts are pretty hard to suppress after a whole long work day.
Yeah, and I mean those aren't my kids, so it's like I'm sure it's a different dynamic where like Kate, you like obviously have had to reprimand your kids over stuff that they've done, and you do have more of like the control aspect of being like their mom. It's like they do have to listen to you at the end of the day. But well, yeah, no, I know. But with me, it's like these kids can be absolute shitheads
And they
all
know
day,
it.
and they know it because they know that I'm at work and I can't do anything about it. And then at 3 o'clock, they get picked up and they get to go have the rest of their day, and they don't have to see me until the next day. And it's like, oh, I just want you to leave sometimes. I want it to be 3 o'clock.
Yeah, at least there's definitely no pressure of, somebody coming back and saying PTSD if you gotta take a break with those kinds of misbehaving ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
So
know all
this
the other kinds of pressures. I've got a couple friends in the kid, I don't know what to call it. One of them's in school, the
Child
other's
education.
doing, yeah, what age group do you
8 to
mostly
13.
work with?
Well,
What?
so it's during the summer it's 8 to 13, and then during the school year it's 11 to 12 because we work with fifth grade.
Oh, that's like right when they're like prime.
Well, and it's funny because in the state that I live in, all the fifth grade classes are in the elementary schools. Now, where I'm from in Mass, it was 1 through 4, 5 through 8, 9 through 12. So it was like 4, 4, 4.
Oh,
Which that just made sense to me. But with Rhode Island, they do fifth grade in the elementary schools, and then they do 6, 7, 8 for the middle schools. There was one middle school that had a fifth grade that we went to, and those kids were clearly like a different breed because they were surrounded by the 6, 7, and eighth graders. You know what I mean? Where the kids who are in the elementary school who are in fifth grade, they end up being like, they already feel like they're top dogs, but they haven't been exposed to like the the older kid mentality yet.
yeah.
Uh, so we have a little more control. We didn't even finish that program at that school. They were horrible. We couldn't do it. We were like, yeah, these fifth graders are like more like seventh graders who don't want to be here.
I can't even imagine. My friend who does actual school, the other friend does like baby, like toddlers essentially. But my friend who does like high schoolers, I'm like, I don't know how you do it. I could not. Like I could not. And especially me with the possibility of having a seizure, like I could not. Like dealing with their bullshit and having a seizure, like no. So
I have noticed that a lot of teenagers, like, yes, they can come off like, they have not a care in the world, and they don't care what you say, etc. If you can find a moment to really level with them and like let them know, kind of like, look, I am trying to help you, you need to let me help you though. Everything can go smooth if we work together. And if you can have that moment with a lot of teenagers, they will respond well. And if you have a good group of kids, I wouldn't even be concerned if I had a seizure, because if they knew about my condition and they knew what to do, because obviously I would, fill them in, sort of thing, if they were old enough to be able to do anything about it. Um, I would fill them in what to do, and I feel like I could trust if I knew the group and had a good conversation with them about my situation and their situation and everything. So
yeah.
Hey, it sounds like your students are definitely learning a lot from you.
No, and now I'm trying to get away from that. Weird.
It makes me think about how difficult it is to find any situation where people respond correctly to you having a seizure. Like, even in a hospital, I've had a seizure where I wasn't supposed to, and people swarmed. Like, I was trying to get an MRI and I had a seizure, and people swarmed, and it's like my wife was just sitting there like, they have epilepsy, chill. And everyone like freaked out. And I didn't even get to get my MRI. I had to like reschedule it because they hurried me to the ER. And it's like, I was just sitting, like, it was, I just, people don't know how to deal with people who have been diagnosed with epilepsy. Like, I, there was nothing that, there's nothing to do if a person has regular seizures and hasn't fallen and like injured themselves. I didn't need to go to the ER. And when you're out in the world and you have a seizure, people freak out because they're like, why is this person seizing? And that's annoying, but at least you're out in the world. You're not in the hospital where doctors should understand that it's fine. I mean, it's not fine, but like, they don't need to rush me to the ER. Like, it's so frustrating. So I don't know. I don't know what that situation would even be, if you would be even allowed to make a an agreement where you wouldn't have to be taken to the hospital if you had a normal seizure. But it's
Hey, it depends on convincing those
frustrating.
who are going to be around you. Yeah, everybody who's going to be in a position to rush you to the hospital needs to understand that they don't have to and exactly why.
Yeah. And it makes you not want to go anywhere without someone who knows you and understands you. Because if you're by yourself, there is the risk of that happening. And I mean,
You
it's
should
just an ordeal.
you should get one of the bracelets
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
that I thought that when Pookie went to go touch his screen that he was actually raising up his wrist to show his bracelet, but he was.
Hey,
That
whatever
is
helps to remind us, though.
Oh yeah, Angel.
those
There we go. Angel's got one.
There you
those
go.
bracelets. Oh wait, I want to see. Hold on. Yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah.
useful because you can put a message on it. So it's not just your personal information and like a emergency contact number. You can actually put the message of
It's
don't
actually
911 unless,
yeah.
or just some kind of message.
No
Yeah.
911, no hospital,
Yeah.
whatever it takes. Like they can call, they can still call an ambulance, because when people have called the ambulance for me and I didn't need to go to the hospital, I told
Right.
them like I don't need to, and they were like, okay, we don't need to take you to the hospital, but we can still check you out. And
Mm-hmm.
and they're not even asking for your like your information when they do that. So there's no like charge for it. Like you're not going to get like a health insurance bill because the ambulance checked you out. As long as you make it known to them that you don't want to go to the hospital, they can still check you out. It's just the ride. Literally, the second that you get in,
Right, because it costs
they
the
start
gas.
driving. That's the yeah. It's literally like once you get in and they start driving, that's when you get charged.
Good to know.
There you go. How did people handle seizures? Oh, actually, loofah, the icebreaker. We didn't get you yet. Oh, maybe not the best time. Anyway, how did people handle seizures before modern medicine? I've been
Hey,
hearing someone talk about
hold on.
putting.
Hey,
Okay, go ahead.
yeah, I'll be right here. It's Taco Tuesday. We're going to the store.
All right, enjoy.
Go ahead, you guys, but you
We'll be
guys,
right
I'm gonna
here.
take you with me.
All right, get me some tacos.
Enjoy.
No, now I want tacos.
Nachos.
What the hell, man?
There
You
you
want some
go.
nachos?
We all have tacos tonight.
So this one is saying, okay, heard someone talk about putting peanut butter on your tongue or something. Just wondering if any holistic treatments actually work. It's going to pay for a holistic doctor, but it's expensive. I honestly want to cure this because I'm tired of any side effects. Also, one of my first bad seizures was because I smoked weed and crashed a car. I see Epidiolex. Has anyone taken that? And this one is saying that before modern medicine, epilepsy was handled by putting people away in an asylum and lobotomies. I would say that still happens.
Well, it was a big shift from you're seeing God to you need to go into an asylum.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah, I
think
remember
there
when we looked up
really
the
is
history.
a holistic solution because there's so many different types of epilepsy and you don't know where it affects you in the brain or whatever. Um like I think it works better. Seen and read it works better for children, but as adults, there really is no holistic as much as I wish there was. There's stuff, holistic stuff you can use alongside of it, but yeah, I recommend staying on your medicine.
I I wonder if it works better in children because their brains are still developing, so it kind of their brains will just form different pathways instead to sort of counteract. I wonder if that's why.
Adapting works way better earlier in life for the brain for sure. Yeah, it says the first medication that was actually effective for epilepsy was phenobarbital. Potassium bromide was the first effective epilepsy drug, not as effective as phenobarbital, but effective nonetheless. It was discovered in the 19th century by an obstetrician. So an OB actually came up with the first one, according to this post, who thought masturbating caused epilepsy. He was taking potassium bromide himself. I'm not sure what for, maybe for the sedatives. And he noticed it made him impotent. He then administered it to 15 of his epileptic patients. It stopped the seizures in 14 of the 15 patients and went on to publish his findings in The Lancet. Unfortunately, potassium bromide can have nasty side effects and it's difficult to dose due to its long half-life. No, never would have expected that. Yeah, they just
Did you
keep going on
say
and talking
basically
about
he can
history.
die from masturbation?
He said that apparently that's what he thought caused epilepsy. I don't know how that led to phenobarbital, but that might have had something to do with one of the first effective drugs coming from an OB.
Wait, but he tried it on himself?
Yeah, and that's what this post is saying. They don't know what for. but it caused impotence, so he ended up kind of suffering the side effects.
Oh. He wanted them to stop masturbating, realized that the drug made it so he couldn't get hard, and then was like, "Oh, this is perfect. I'm gonna give it to them."
Oh, I thought that meant he was just like emptied out. Okay, never mind. I didn't know what that meant. Okay.
No,
Now we're
impotent
epilepsy.
is like it just flapping in the wind.
Okay, good to know. Now this one here. Why is there such a stigma around epilepsy? A lot of comments on this one. Few people surprised when I told them because I guess some people think epileptics are cognitively impaired. You guys ever get that vibe that somebody has to find out you have epilepsy and then they talk to you different? Some other
Yeah,
people are saying, oh, go ahead, Dan.
I had that happen a couple of times, and I think the most revealing was when it happened in the beginning of my relationship with the cannabis community. They didn't realize I was a patient as much as an advocate. They're like, "What do you mean you need this stuff?" Yo, I have epilepsy. And some people instantly change. Others, they were like, "Okay, um, you're not any different now than you were yesterday, but now that we know that, if we see anything wonky, we know." You know what I mean? But there were those other people that were like, "How can you be doing this if you have epilepsy?" You know, the ones that didn't want to believe that I even had it. And then those that believed that I did not have the cognitive ability. Um, Actually had a doctor say that. And I'm like, yo, okay, you know, I get it. You want to talk about my cognitive ability before doing any cognitive testing? I'm going to judge you first. And then we can move forward, you know. But yeah, I've had people instantly change. But it isn't, I can't say it isn't common. Um, it wasn't too common for me. There are a few things that go on in my family that I can't change because they've made up their minds. I'm not going to fight to change their mind. I have nothing to prove, you know? But yeah, some people would be like all of a sudden standoffish, or they didn't want to hang out anymore because they were afraid. And I really, truly believe um, a lot of this is their fear of what they might see. And that's understandable. But yeah, I've had it happen. And yeah, I don't even want to, yeah. And that doctor did
No,
it
that's
on a video call. Yes.
oh wow.
I know,
So it sounds like a lot of people just base your condition on whatever they might have heard from other people. You know, if they know somebody else with epilepsy and assume that everybody's photosensitive and let those stereotypes take over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I think
like
that's
that.
the biggest thing that we can push with the awareness is that epilepsy is unique for everybody.
Yep,
Yep.
it
It's a
is.
thumbprint.
And it is
All right,
scary.
now we got Lufa back. Oh, go ahead.
And it is scary for the people who are around when it happens, you know, like
Mhm.
we do kind of look like we're dying if we have a TC, you know, and that's not our fault. And the people around us, like, hopefully can understand. Um, but yeah, we just have to kind of remember that it's not our fault. And people also need to remember that, like, everybody's different. I think a lot of the confusion about it also stems from the fact that no one feels like they know anyone who's epileptic, when in actuality, you probably do. You just don't know it.
Yeah.
You know, and then there's the media aspect where all you ever see on TV and in movies is the full TCs. I forgot it was even in it. My girlfriend and I were watching the second Avatar movie the
Yeah.
other night, and one of the characters has epilepsy. Um, and she had like a seizure underwater. And I was like, well, it's good that they're throwing it in there. I just, you know, I wish that they could have shown it not as just a crazy one, um, so to speak, or as a TC, so to speak, um, because that's the only way that people recognize it.
And somebody's saying that they literally had someone speak louder and slower to them after they told them. Also had someone once say, "Yeah, I heard epileptics can be unreliable in a really nice way, as if it was a symptom." Yeah, it sounds like the most discrepancies come from the workplace. Anytime a manager doesn't take you seriously because of this medical condition that's never even necessarily affected your performance. Yeah, that's rough. So, Lufa, now that you're around, that icebreaker today is, what do you find most productive about the group?
Productive about the group.
Yeah, like what's the best part, basically?
I don't know. I feel like I learn something new every day. Like every time
Nice.
I learn something new that I didn't know before, or something different that I didn't know before. Expand my horizons so that I can bother my mother with facts that she doesn't care about.
Absolutely. And the more we repeat stuff, it makes it easier to remember and maybe even remember when we want to.
Yeah.
Does anyone else feel like their epilepsy is no big deal? There are a lot of posts here with people afraid for telling their jobs, people who fear they'll get fired for revealing, or have spouses that don't want to be with them, issues with their friends. It sounds so horrible to me that even that all of these people are experiencing truly gut-wrenching things that nobody deserves, especially people with epilepsy who live having to manage a constant increased amount of risk of dying every day of their lives. And all of these discrimination fears I've never been afraid of or considered they could happen or experience them. So I'm left wondering, is if there's something wrong with them, or no, if there's wrong with me, am I missing it? Am I an outlier? Is discrimination this common? Is it where I live, or people just don't have problems, don't make posts? So this person just sounds like they think they're really lucky. I want to hear somebody else out there who says their epilepsy hasn't really messed with their lives. I think this is more about the adapting. Take it for what it is, do what you can to control, and in the meantime, that doesn't mean you have to give up on everything that you were doing. What do you guys think?
I guess I can repeat what I said the other day. Like because everyone was saying that I was sort of the most independent, and it's just about seeing what you can do, and if you can't, don't do it. But you've got to try. Um, and if you want to stay independent, you've got to just try your best. And if you need help, it's okay. You're doing your best, and you are living with something that sucks. But yeah, just I don't know. It doesn't have to take over your entire life for some people. Obviously, some of us are worse off than others. Um, but yeah, just try and live your life normal and see what you can do and appreciate every moment, every day.
That's good
Cookie,
advice. All
Cookie
right,
has
let's let
this
Cookie finish that
lemonade.
bite. Yeah, but he just took a bite, so I was gonna finish that. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that they know they're lucky that epilepsy is not on the worst end of the scale. So basically, always remembering that it could be worse.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You guys can hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. How's that
Yep.
taco?
All right, I got one. It says mushrooms. I'm in a school of horticulture, and my classmates brought up lion's mane for my cognitive issues. Apparently, it helps memory, anxiety, and depression, hyperactivity, and decreases brain fog. I struggle with these issues, and I know a lot about I would know a lot about other epileptics, but has anyone ever tried it and had any luck? I'm seeing mostly positive results regarding hyperactivity in the brain fog. I'm also very interested in trying other herbs or fungi that happens to help with epilepsy symptoms. So if anyone has any recommendations, drop them here.
Hey, Mark. Mark was going off about lion's mane mushrooms the other night. We need Mark.
Yeah, I
I've
think I read
done,
that post.
yeah, I've done lion's mane. I really should be taking it every day. Um, I can honestly say that it does have an effect, and it is one of the best mushrooms. That is not a psychedelic mushroom. That is a highly nutritional, highly beneficial. So yes, and one thing that I will forever be grateful for is my sister got lion's mane and made crab cakes because I can't have shellfish, and she found a recipe using lion's mane mushroom. And she made these crab cakes that tasted like they were full of lobster. And I was like, I can't even describe what I felt like for like 3 days. I'm like, I should take this stuff all the time. And we made a habit of having it. And it's like, I was amazed. It's worth it. You can buy it as a supplement. Just be careful. I would rather go freeze dried. A great place to ask those questions. Again, Realm of Caring. They support and sponsored Unlimited Sciences, they are an organization at Johns Hopkins studying psychedelics. So that's a good place to start for information. But lion's mane is a highly beneficial, so is Reiki, and they don't have to be psychedelic to be beneficial. So yeah, I fully support. I wish I could grow them. I can't cultivate those things. They're tricky. All mushrooms are very tricky to cultivate. I'd rather go out in the field and see what I can find on the cow pile.
This
You know,
where we start. Is this where
yeah.
we start talking about using lines made with sardines and stuff?
Well, if that's what you're into, but yeah,
No.
I haven't done the sardines yet. I'm working on it. I I used to eat anchovies right out of the can. So, but sardines still have all the bones. Also did, yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking about it because I know I need those omegas. But yeah, lion's mane and sardines with a little bit of yogurt. Where's Tom?
Yeah, I'm glad.
Hey,
Remember
how do you
Courtney,
eat
you're the
those?
one who said put the cottage cheese with the sardines, making yogurt basically.
Yeah, yeah, yum. Um, yeah, and you can get lion's mane. Well, it depends. Like right now, our farmers markets have them right now. Um, I found them at um like the Asian food stores, places like that. Um, yeah. Shoo! Oh, shoo! Ah, that time of year. But yeah, I don't know how to cook them. I think I know you have to cook them before you eat them. Um, oh, my doctor is bugging me. This man never stops, I'm telling you. Damn. Okay. But yeah, I love mushrooms. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not crazy about button mushrooms, the ones everybody eats from the store, but you give me a portobello or Reiki mushrooms or lion's mane, I'm in. Um, but yeah, you know, it does a lot for the nervous system. I know there's a few people in a group that I'm in that have Parkinson's. And not only do they use psychedelic mushrooms for the tremors, they also use lion's mane and Reiki mushroom. for the nervous system, kind of like we use B12.
Once again, more useful information. Thank you for that. Help with insomnia. So my biggest trigger is lack of sleep. Yesterday was my first day of school for my senior year in high school. I'm typing this at 2 a.m., but I'm a huge insomnia, and I can get away with staying up to 4 a.m. in the summer if I don't work the next day. But I can't do that because I have school. Unfortunately, I can't miss a day. See, I have a sister who I have to drive to school. Issue is the drive is 15 minutes one way. I also don't want to come off as a slacker or anything like that to my parents, or as if I'm trying to skip school, but I don't know how much of an extra dosage I can take before it becomes a health concern. Take 500 milligrams of Keppra, but RN, I've lost count. Oh, right now I've lost count how much melatonin I've taken, and I don't know if I can overdose on the melatonin. Honestly, I don't want to learn that lesson the hard way. So any advice? So the melatonin's the sleep aid? You guys know?
Yeah, melatonin's been a sleep aid.
Yep.
Okay. I'm surprised they don't have the dose listed on, whatever the prescription is.
I'm
Or if
also
it's an
surprised that
over-the-counter
they're
thing.
driving.
Yeah,
Property, my sleep aid.
that's
It's like their parents can't really come at them for being a slacker when it's like you're the one, your parents are making it so that you have to drive your sister, but you shouldn't be driving. So
because somebody else is saying that Keppra is kind of a low dose. Just 500 milligrams a day is not usually any higher than from what I remember being the starting dose. So just tell your doctor, be honest. I had to, and what my neurologist told me is with seizures, it's better to get something for sleep than to be sleep deprived. And CBD. Yeah, and then the fact that the melatonin isn't any kind of natural supplement isn't a reason to, or is a reason to try to not take any more of that if you don't have to.
like they need to really work on trying to get their sleep schedule on a schedule because yeah, when I was in my senior year of high school, I could also stay up till 4 a.m. if I didn't have, anything to do the next day. Do I do that now? Absolutely not. Um, but I don't know. It's like if you try and swap back after the summer, it's going to take a little bit for your sleep cycle to adjust as well. It's not like you can go to sleep at 4 a.m. every night and then expect to be able to go to sleep at 10.
So a routine has a lot to do with being able to fall asleep.
Also, I don't know how
Someone
much
else
time
asking.
their bed when they're not trying to sleep. I have noticed that is a huge thing too. If you're not going to sleep, don't get in your bed. Then when you get in your bed, your brain is like, okay, sleep time.
There you go. The tossing and turning can actually do a little more damage than you realize.
Oh no, I meant like when people will just like sort of hang in bed all day watching TV, but not trying to go to sleep. And then nighttime comes and they try and go to sleep, but their brain isn't associating the bed with sleep anymore. Like I only ever get into my bed when I'm going to sleep, otherwise I'm on my couch or the kitchen or outside.
What are things you've learned about life from having epilepsy? Curious what you think. Any solid life lessons, or is it just? Yeah, I'm not even gonna read that last part. Go ahead. What have you guys learned about epilepsy that actually helped with life? I would just think it's problem solving. When something unexpected happens, you figure out that plans go to shit on way more than you want to imagine, but you got to figure out a way to make it work. What about you,
Adapting.
Ann?
Yep.
Oh, Angel, okay.
Yeah, adapting to everything, especially during like the pre 2010 years, I would say 2010, before when it was pre existing conditions, adapting to new jobs and everything. It was just like, okay, You gotta adapt. You gotta adapt.
Yeah, like I'm just annoyed with the parents, you know, for not sort of helping out more, especially with like if he's talking to Reddit or if they're talking to Reddit about medication problems. Like, well, have you talked to your parents? Because I don't know if you're 18 or still 17, but you like you're a child. You definitely should be talking to your parents as well. And if they know, that will help because maybe you won't have to drive your sister to school. You can both get driven because you shouldn't be driving. And I appreciate that you can, but it's not safe for you.
100%, Brandon. I don't think anybody with epilepsy should be driving.
My
That's
dad
just my
does.
feel.
My dad drives everywhere. I don't even fucking know.
Yeah, with his sister being, especially that he's driving his sister to school, that's kind of an indicator that his parents maybe don't recognize the severity of it. But once diagnosed, stuff like that definitely has to change. As soon as possible, anyway. So the thing about life lessons, we talked about problem solving. That somebody else said, if death is anything like post-ictal amnesia, there's nothing to fear. Yeah, after seizures suck. Okay, this one gets metaphorical. A beautiful, fortunate breakthrough. And infinite but comfortable darkness is such a beautiful way to put it. I feel the exact same thing. Yeah, I don't really get that one. Okay, what about? Can't see the forest through the trees. This is my first post in this community, so allow me to begin by saying hello, thank you. 41 years old, diagnosed with epilepsy in November of 24. Had never had a seizure before then in my life. They hit fast and hard, clusters of 2 to 3 tonic-clonic seizures at least once a month. Later developed focal aware seizures about just as often. I'm a father of 5 young men ranging in age from 22 to 8. They and my wife are my entire world. I live to take care of my immediate family as well as extended family. That includes blood and adopted. I have until the end of last year been gainfully employed since 14. After being diagnosed with this disorder and suffering the lasting effects, I was unable to return to work. Now in this state of limbo with very few options, I find myself a bit lost and unable to see the next steps. If anyone has time or inclination to leave me some advice, it would be greatly appreciated. Diagnosed later in life does sound harder to me. Just not expecting to have to adapt and change so much.
It's really good that I mean, it sucks that their youngest is 8, but it's good that they do have older kids who can help out, you know, while they are going through this change in their life and figuring out, what the next steps are. It seems like,
How about right at the beginning of their life? Those boys are probably just starting their careers or maybe getting out of the house for the first time, and
yeah,
I could never stand to ask them to drive me around.
yeah. Well, I mean, I like helping out around the house for stuff, like
Yeah, that's true. Stuff that
if
wouldn't put them
like,
out.
yeah, you're not trying to like put them out, but it's sort of like, okay, I need you guys to help pick up some slack, like taking care of the 8-year-old, for example, a little bit more, when I'm not feeling so great. Stuff like that can really help out without causing like too much strain, I guess. I don't know. If you have 5 kids and a wife, it's like that's a pretty big support, I guess.
Yeah, that sounds solid.
Yeah. It's gonna be manic around the whole house though. Like they're still gonna be all trying to like deal with dad's condition,
And
like
41,
trying to
41's
learn.
not that old, which sucks. I mean, he's saying later in life, but 41, it's like you still got a lot of life left.
Yeah, there is a lot of life left, but it's still like Rick will probably be like the perfect example of this, you know. that he started his seizures later, whereas like me, I started as a teenager, you know. But
Yeah, that's a good
it's
example.
it does like uproot your whole life, and you know, for some people
Yeah.
that I've read on like the Reddits and stuff, they really have to change careers because they can't do what they were doing anymore because of epilepsy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wonder what this guy's job was. He said he's been in the workforce since he was 14, which is
Yeah.
now I'm like, okay, one, where does this guy live? Was it legal that he was working that young? I don't know. But um
I didn't
but
even think of
clearly,
that. Yeah.
I mean, clearly this guy's a hard worker. Um
Maybe he was
and
a
I
mob
planned on
boss.
staying that way.
and wants to stay that way. So I think that that's going to really help him. Um because it's when you start to get stuck in that mindset of like, well, everything's over, can't do anything anymore. That's when things start to go downhill, and you can't let yourself get stuck in that mindset. So hopefully, you know, hate to say, pulls himself up by his bootstraps, because that phrase just, we all hate that phrase as people who are not rich, but hopefully he's able to sort of, pull himself up and keep it on going and figure out his next steps. And we're here if he needs help. Exactly.
Join the epilepsy
Yeah, man. I
universe.
just love drinking
So
water.
somebody else here is questioning about puking after focal seizure and sleep. Anyone else ever throw up after nocturnal seizures? I never get that nausea, especially after focals. No, I don't want to eat, but I'm far from nauseous.
Yeah, I don't want to eat after a seizure.
I don't know if it was because of a seizure, but I've thrown up in my sleep and it was not good. I'm not even sure what it was, but it was horrible.
So this post is describing it as I woke up around 3 or 4 in the morning, fall back asleep, have a vivid dream with intense emotions, wake up at 7, feeling groggy, sweaty, tired, and sick, and eventually throw up. It can happen a few times a month.
That happened to me the other day, but I didn't end up throwing up. But I woke up at like 4 to go to the bathroom, went back to sleep, woke up at 6 or 5:40, felt off, and felt like I was gonna puke. Like I did get, like the sort of, oh, but I managed to hold it back. And after like 5 minutes after that, like my body sort of relaxed, and like the sweating and nauseousness went away. But I don't think I had a seizure. I don't know. I think
Might have
I
been
think they
some
just have
morals or
like an acid reflux thing or something. I don't know.
That's what I was thinking. I thought it was maybe like an acid reflux thing, but you said it didn't. You didn't actually throw up. Lucky
Well,
you. It came out of my nose and everything. I was laying on my back.
okay. So I told you why I had to start dissolving my pills, because I was
Yeah.
like, I would go to take my pill and it would get caught and I would throw it up.
You got that gag reflex problem.
Yeah, exactly. I can't, I gotta work on that gag reflex.
I understand them. Yeah, I don't know about chopping mines up. I thought about it, but I was like, last time I put one inside of a Sprite top, how it dissolves, and it dissolved all weirdly.
Oh, dude, I literally will fill like up to like here in a glass with not like boiling water, but like hot water. And then break the pill in half, toss it in, and then I use a chopstick to sort of just like bang bang on the two halves, and then I swirl it around, and within like 3 minutes or something, it's completely dissolved in the water, and you can do it. You don't have to do like a tiny bit of water. You can do a big amount, you know.
Okay, I got something here. It says Keppra side effects. I recently got diagnosed with epilepsy and I'm on 500 milligrams twice a day, so 1,000 milligrams in total. Does the tiredness and anger ever go away? And I'm struggling to get out of bed some days and I feel myself being more irritable. The anger isn't the bad. It's more just internally thinking, will this person go away? And things like this. But the tiredness is killing me. It says question, but basically they're asking, will that go away? The Keppra at that stage, I didn't know. I need someone else to explain.
It does. You also have to. I mean, I'm saying it again. Like with the routine, you like if you are forced to get up and you can just keep yourself moving, then the sleepiness like doesn't hit as hard. It's just when you stop moving and you sit down, that's when it can hit really hard. You know, so
Do you
just
need naps?
huh?
Do you need naps?
Do I mean naps?
Yeah, do you like need a nap every now and
Oh,
then?
do I need naps? Sorry, I thought you said do you mean naps? So some days I do. Like yesterday I took a nap for an hour from like 6 to 7 ish. But I didn't like need a nap before that for like another like for like a week prior to that. But then like I don't know, a month and a half ago or something, basically every day I got home from work, I was taking like a 30-minute nap. Um, so I don't know, it varies. It's up and down with the naps, but for the most part, as long as I keep moving, my body won't shut down. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah, to add on top of that, like even with dose changes, your body's going to need time to adjust to the doses and everything or new medications. And for me, once it finally adjusts to that, the tiredness will probably become less and less. Right now, it's been harder because I've been on a titration of every 2 weeks, so I can't adjust to the levels. But yeah,
Also, make sure you keep eating. I feel like a lot of people forget about that because like they'll go, "Oh, I have no energy," and it's like, "Well, what have you eaten today? A bagel 8 hours ago." And I'm like, "Well, okay, here's what we can do to solve this. You need to eat more and eat properly. Give yourself the tools to have energy. Don't just go, oh, it's the meds taking away my energy. Like, well, yeah, like the meds aren't helping, but you're not helping yourself.
Yeah, like I got tacos. What made me hungry is just thinking about Taco Tuesday, just the thought of cheap tacos today. Since I ate, I got myself a treat and I got some donuts. Um, yeah,
See, you
I
got
deserve them.
you got your protein, and now you got your sweets, and you know, like you're filling your body.
Reward well deserved.
Thank
Don't
you.
you sometimes feel like you don't want to share your side effects with that the medications cause? I don't know what label to put on this. I've had epilepsy for about 10 years, but I still don't feel comfortable when I tell someone about how my memory and concentration have been affected by the medication. I often feel like when I tell someone this, it's like giving them a free pass to justify whatever I do or however I feel is simply a side effect of the epilepsy or the meds. This happens often with my mother. The truth is, I'd rather someone think I'm stupid because of my poor memory or trouble concentrating than simply assume that every aspect of me is a result of epilepsy and medication, erasing my personality and character. So at least being stupid will be part of me and not part of epilepsy. Okay, this person definitely needs help. A reminder that they are more than their epilepsy. And that might not be reinforced by everybody assuming that whatever's going on is naturally a cause of that, but it's hard for a lot of other people not to use the chronic condition as a go-to.
Yeah, I've been told stuff all the time. Oh no, your memory is bad. You don't remember this. It's your epilepsy. Or you don't do this because it's your epilepsy. And there's so many reasons, so many things from people who don't know anything about epilepsy besides what they see on TV. Yeah, yeah, been there. Don't worry about those people. Stay hydrated. And yeah, take your pills. It's the best advice you could ever have is take your pills. It's necessary. Or you can go and just learn what it is like to not take them. That's no fun. Okay, you got any more reading those responses?
Yeah, the whole first thread on here is I tell everyone all the dirty details, but I'm a woman in my 40s, so I'm in my give zero fucks era. And the reply to that is I'm a 56-year-old male. All my fucks departed 20 years ago after my stroke, and any residual jumped ship 5 years later with the epilepsy. I'm more medication than man at this point. And somebody's saying, oh, I hope you're healing through honesty and acceptance, sending a hug, and I hope all the jokes make it easier. But yeah, I think that it's hard to not take those that you actually care about more seriously when they don't see you as the same person anymore. But that definitely is easier to clear up with age.
I got some. It says lost and confused on what's happening. I had my first seizure June 2023. I was on vacation in India and hadn't slept well. Then the mix with the heat and exhaustion, it triggered a seizure. They gave me some medicine there, and when we left India, we stopped thinking about it so much. Then I had my second seizure in November 2024. I stayed up all night to do a lab report for physics and went to a class and had a seizure. This is when I first put on Keppra. So for clarification, before I took Keppra, I had very clear causes of both of my seizures after taking Keppra. I had one in December 2024. We assumed this was triggered from me not eating much that day, but that's not really out of the ordinary. Then I had another one in March 2025, completely unexplained, and then most recently in May 2025. After the December one, I was bumped up to 1,000 milligrams twice a day. It's starting to have a real effect on my mental health. I've lost most major forms of independence, and every time I have a seizure, I lose more. The year I have to be seizure free before getting my license back resets. I'm just really confused the cause of how it feels to take more medication and take more medication often, and it's still happening. Anyone can help me provide information would be appreciated. This says it's a newcomer. Brandon, you just got diagnosed 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, I was like 2 or 3. I'm losing track now.
You could totally relate to this person, like all the way. Like they're taking Keppra and it's been 2 years.
Wait, what was the actual question? Sorry, when it goes on for a while, I can forget, obviously, but
Yeah, basically they're taking Keppra and he's been 2 years in. There's some unexplained seizures. Why are they happening once every once or twice and so close, or whatever the case.
Oh, right. And at the beginning, they were saying they had their first one in India after not getting good sleep and the heat exhaustion and stuff, and then the sleep deprivation. Well, they know their triggers, that's for sure. Like their triggers are they need to sleep more and watch the heat, make sure they're staying hydrated and stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's good that they had their I mean, it's a weird thing to say, but it's a good thing that they had the same trigger at each of their first two, and it wasn't random, I guess, because that means that they know what to watch out for.
Yeah,
Obviously, there's like there may be other triggers, but they like as long as you know about one, well, two, I guess, because we could let's just lump in the heat exhaustion and dehydration as well, because I'm sure that didn't help. Because actually, my first seizure was I wasn't getting a lot of sleep, wasn't eating that much. Um, it was like 95 degrees out, and I was super stressed because I had given one of my other counselors' backpack to a parent, thinking that it was her kids. And luckily, she lived like I could see her building. So I raced up there trying to catch her, called her like a million times. I'm freaking out. Um, he needed to go to his other job. And so I was like trying so hard. I called her a million times, sent her a bunch of texts, left a million voicemails. And then finally she gets back to me. I bring it back down to my work, hand it off, and then like within 3 minutes, I had a seizure.
Yeah.
Angel posted a picture in the chat of his medication so you guys can see the size of those pills.
I know he was holding them up on the screen, and I was like, I see you. I see you.
They're like those sweet tarts. Like you seen those size of those sweet tarts before? They're as big as those. I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, they're as big as them, but you can't chew them and like they're candy because they taste disgusting.
Exactly.
Oh, here's what you do. Here's what you do. You take a bunch of sweet tarts and a pill, and then you shake them up in your hand, and then you just go, oh, and just chew all of it.
My pills say do not crush, chew, a few other things, or cut. But here's one. It says having a real hard time accepting having seizures. I'm a newcomer. I'm currently in a hole in my brain where I keep trying to convince myself that my seizures are fake and that on my subconscious level, I am faking them. Makes no sense, but I do have OCD, so that could be a factor. I got prescribed Keppra today and my PCP by my PCP, but I'm still yet to see a neurologist, so I'm scared and doubtful to take it since I'm currently afraid I'm somehow faking my seizures. Any advice or wisdom? Sounds like this person wants to have PNES.
Well, even PNES, no seizures are fake, you know. It's hard. It's hard. And it takes some time adjusting. Like it's going to be whether you get diagnosed with PNES or uh epilepsy, you're going to be in denial for a bit, but eventually it's going to be some time and you'll get used to like it. I don't know how PNES works with epilepsy. I mean, with seizures, if that can be cured or anything, but with epilepsy, it's different. It's for life.
So, James, welcome back. We have an icebreaker today of what do you like best about the group? What do you think is most productive?
Hey, yeah, good to see everybody a little bit later. Actually, yeah, I started working again today. So, but yeah, I don't know, since I've only been here a couple weeks, but just talking to other people who have the same issues that can actually kind of understand how I feel, not having to try and like use so many comparisons or different things like that, if that makes sense. Like, it's hard to explain having a seizure to somebody that's never had one, right? You have to try and explain, like, oh, it was like maybe this one time you might have had this certain situation happen to you, whereas with all of you guys, it's like, oh yeah, I had another seizure, so this is sore, this is sore. You guys already know what the hell I'm talking about, and I don't have to deep dive into a super big comparison or something like that. So I guess just being more open and you guys listening and everything, that's for me has been the best part of, yeah, the group and everything.
Okay, glad we can help out. About can medication worsen your epilepsy? This question isn't for more intense cases, I guess. It's more for those who have seizures pretty infrequently, 5 to 10 times a year or less. I only have focal awares, and when I've had years where I can have up to 10 or more a month, I seem to be in a more dry spell. I had 3 recent obvious seizures in the last 2 weeks, and while I'm still in the testing phase with none happening on EEGs yet, when I described my symptoms to my doctor, they decided to start me on medication. I'm planning an EMU stay in December, but my worry is if my brain gets accustomed to the medication, then I take my final dose the day before as instructed. Will those be legitimate seizures, or will it be only because of coming off the meds? Also, I've read on this subreddit that people have had their epilepsy worsen after starting the medication, missing doses accidentally, like focals progressing to generalized seizures. My focals are decently manageable. Granted, this year, though, them being bad is what led me to finally start looking into answers. I'm worried that by starting medication, it will put me on a path I can't go back on. Am I already on that path? I don't think it's too late for this one. I'm really happy to hear someone actually asking the questions before they let themselves get dependent.
I don't believe that, your seizures can technically be worsened because we never know when a clonic will trigger or anything. But there is chances that medications, like, your body does become tolerant to it, or you might be on, like, the doctor might put you on the wrong medication. And yeah, it might not hold back any seizures at all.
Yeah, I had mentioned the other day, the reason that I was switched off of taking phenatonin was because I was at the highest dosage uh, that they were allowed to prescribe. But anytime I had done a blood test, they always tried to tell me I wasn't taking the correct dosages. I was skipping stuff or something. It was always low in my blood, in my blood system, despite me. I never missed a dose. I was at the highest that they would prescribe to somebody, and it would still show up as low in my blood system. So just each that's a hard question to answer because each medication does something different to to each person, you know, for each dose. So I wouldn't say necessarily it was causing more seizures. I was just, you know, by the time I was kind of on the end of it, it probably wasn't, you know, helping out as much as it was to begin with. So that might have been why it was I was having them more frequently versus when I first started it. Because I was on that one for, I want to say, 8 to 10 years. I don't remember exactly because I've been on so many different ones now at this point. But yeah.
Okay, you want to go through some of the comments on that post, or you got something else? I mean, I got something else if you don't.
Yeah, we've got a couple more. I mean, these comments are pretty much saying the same thing. It looks like for sometimes yes, but if it happens for one medication, there are lots of options to switch to. So it sounds like most of the suggestions are saying to do what the doctor tells you, start the medication, but don't be afraid to bring up any concerns of side effects, because that's what a lot of people are blaming the worst case scenarios on. They're just assuming this is the one thing they can do and living with the misery it causes without asking about it. And a lot of other people later, you know, diagnosed later in life have the same questions. This guy's saying he's 66 and had a couple tonic-clonics in the last year or 2 years. The doctor's telling him to take Keppra, go figure, and he just never wanted to start it. Quit alcohol, became a regular at the gym, made some positive changes, but decided not to start the meds. And hey, if I could go back, I would try something like that.
I got something here.
Yeah, I've been.
Oh, go ahead, James.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, I've been begging to, yeah, try and get off the Keppra, go as low as I can. Like I mentioned before, it's been about a month now. I was up to 3,000 mil every evening, and now finally I've stepped down to 2,000. Haven't noticed a huge difference, but at least if I can keep stepping down and eventually get off that damn pill, I would be over the moon.
Try some of this. B12 by Nature's Made. It's the gummies. Try them out.
I
Shout
do
out to Nature's Made.
I do have that, and then I have one of their like multi gummies or whatever. So it's got B12 and bunch of other different, I don't know, medical words. I don't know what they are, but a bunch of other stuff in them. And yeah, I take that as well.
What are you doing? What you got?
Pick them up at Costco.
I believe in it, man. I just went and got some more to keep the stock up. Shout out to Nature's Made.
For your car?
They work though. I haven't had a focal since I started taking them about 10 weeks ago. A little more than that, maybe.
Nice.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Nature's Made.
Please take your medication as prescribed or whatever works for you. We're not doctors.